Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. Today we've got a bunch of exciting news and we're gonna start with the Acolyte. I watched the video that Making Star Wars put out about the same topic a few hours ago, and I thought I'd give my 2 cents. So the leaker known as Ahsoka, who has proven their legitimacy when they posted footage from Tales of the Jedi, has now revealed some big information for the Leslye Headland series. Let's dive into it. So he details a couple of scenes and key relationships between characters, before adding that he now knows that Darth Plagueis is involved in an important way in the show, but they say they're not ready to divulge any more information on the issue just yet, so more is still to come. Now, this is so exciting. Plagueis is arguably the one character fans have been hoping for in the Acolytes. I think the most encouraging sign that we had was when Leslye Headland said that she read expanded universe material that leads up to the Phantom Menace in preparation for the show, which is probably code for the Darth Plagueis novel by James Luceno. What an important book that is for the prequels. I know it's not canon, but she probably did draw upon it, and given her desire to contextualize the final years of the High Republic and the events leading up to episode 1, there was always a good chance that Plagueis was going to find his way into the series. But the fact that now there's a credible source saying that the Moon Sith Lord is involved in some way is extremely exciting. I'm sure Leslye Headland took inspiration from existing Legends material, but keep in mind that in canon, there is no substantial Plagueis narrative, apart from the fact that Palpatine killed him. But earlier in the timeline during the High Republic, she and the writing team can craft a whole canon story using him and his master, Darth Tenebrous. The possibilities are really quite endless, and I suppose in some way Plagueis is going to connect to the story of Aura, Melody, and the other Sith codenamed Paul. Now, staying on the subject of the Acolyte, I can exclusively reveal that thanks to Ahsoka, I've seen some of the concept art. For obvious reasons, guys, I can't share the actual images, but I was told it's fine to describe it. So there were 6 images in total, and they were all different perspectives of the planet of San Shiro, Aura's planet. The landscape in particular was really magnificent. It reminded me of the mountainous parts of Alderaan. Now, the planet does have marshes, lakes, and a lot of greenery. The best I can describe it is a hybrid between Zepho and Bogano from Jedi Fallen Order, if you've played that game. Now, just off-frame to the right of one shot, we see someone ignite a red lightsaber, and they seem to be walking through a shallow lake. There was also some concept art for a desert planet. Don't worry, it's not Tatooine, but those shots were mostly blurred out, and it said for internal use only written across it, so we won't talk about that too much. But that's all I know, guys, and all I've seen so far. I'm getting really pumped for this show, more than I thought I would be, as plot leaks come out, as we get a better idea of the show's structure. The potential this series has becomes clearer, and I think it can really take Star Wars in an exciting new direction. I've said this for many shows before, but the Acolyte in particular is a brand new flavour of Star Wars. It's not the same tropes we've seen before. It does have that central family message at the heart of it, just like most of Star Wars, but with added elements of horror, fantasy, and the duality of light and dark. I'm super excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So now, my dear friends, once again, it's time to talk about the Andor series. We've had so much news ever since the final trailer, but now we've got even more. We're going to start with some exclusive pictures, courtesy of Empire magazine and also Collider. Some of these are awesome. My favourite shots are those of Mon Mothma on Coruscant, and this still in particular, the way she's dressed, the background scenery, etc., reminds me of the deleted scenes of Revenge of the Sith, and I do wonder if Tony Gilroy drew upon that, and we might see the delegation of the 2000 in this show. For those who are unaware, the delegation of 2000 was a group of concerned senators in the Galactic Senate, many of whom were part of the Loyalist Committee. These 2000 individuals were concerned with Palpatine. This was just after the Clone Wars and just before the foundation of the Empire. They were worried about the Supreme Chancellor's powers, the fact that he was still there, and they were wary of his intentions. We could see this in a flashback. It would all be relevant as a backstory to how we got here. Known members were Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, Ivor Drake, Mina Tills, Marley D, Larghetto, and so many others. We also have a new shot of Stellan Skarsgård's character Luthen Rael, and also more Diego Luna as Cassian Andor and B2 Emo. We also have this behind the scenes shot, which was filmed in Surrey, England, with Tony Gilroy speaking to Diego Luna. And speaking of which, guys, yesterday Diego went on The View, and he provided some new exciting details for the 3-episode premiere. Specifically, Diego teased that the 3 episodes are going to total a runtime of about 2 hours. That's right, day 1 we're getting basically a feature-length film. As always, I will be doing my full review and breakdown of all 3 episodes. I'm probably going to combine it into one long video, but you can expect that on September the 21st. Now, speaking of the Andor series, yesterday was Disney Plus's TCA Day, and there was an Andor panel with Diego Luna and also Tony Gilroy. A lot of information was revealed, and thanks to the Twitter account of Alex Salban, we were able to follow exactly what was being said. Let's dive into it. Luna starts by saying, "Everything I thought of when I was doing Rogue One, it was just part of what an actor has to do. That job I did, but when we started from scratch, and it was all in the hands of that man Tony Gilroy here." Gilroy then says there are touch points in Rogue One, little snapshots. The pieces that we had for Cassian were there. He'd been in the Revolution since he was 6 years old. There were little tiny navigational points, and I just started to build from those. The importance to have an abundant, real backstory was obvious. Above everything, this is a show about regular people. In this galaxy, so far we've seen the same people over and over again. There are billions of people living their lives every day. And Gilroy added that if they're successful in the 24 episodes of Andor, 12 for each season, a lot of scenes in Rogue One will take on emotional resonance in a very different way. Diego Luna says it's quite unfair to call the show Andor because this is about a community, it's an ensemble. Now, apparently Tony Gilroy saw all of the noise online yesterday regarding Andor not using the volume, and even though he went the traditional route, he says the technology is extraordinary, and he says it's going to be a bigger and bigger force in entertainment. In his own words, he said, "Our show is just on a massively epic scale, and if they did use the volume, people would, quote, be running off the set all the time." And then he addresses K2SO. Now, Alan Tudyk said he would return in season 2, and Tony Gilroy now seems to back this up. He says wait and see in terms of why K2SO isn't on the show, at least initially. He then adds, when we do it, it will be in spectacular fashion. So he is teasing that eventually, probably in season 2, we are going to get K2. Now, the main droid in season 1, the droid that is the ally to Cassian, is B2EMO, also known as B2 or simply just B. Now, in terms of the big bad of the season, Tony Gilroy says they're mainly dealing with the ISB, a security bureau in the Empire. Now, could we see Agent Kallus, or maybe even an earlier version of Moff Gideon? Both characters used to be part of the ISB. And Tony Gilroy says while they were a big part in Rogue One, they're a huge part of this show. And we're gonna see all of the nooks and crannies of the Empire. Diego Luna adds, you'll see them when they, brush their teeth too. It's not just when they're giving orders to kill, we're gonna see all aspects of this. And then to finish off, Tony Gilroy gives a pretty dark joke. We're all living in a prequel, we're all gonna die, and we're all in a prequel. Tony Gilroy might come off as an eccentric figure, but ultimately he is such a talented filmmaker who means well. I can't wait for this series, guys, September the 21st. So that, my dear friends, is more or less the news of the day. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you want more videos not found here on YouTube, while also helping to support what I do, then click the link down there in the description. I promise you will not regret it. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.